Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi everyone, welcome back for another edition of Lights, Camera, Rant, and let me say Happy New Year's to everybody. Welcome to the first episode of 2022. I hope you guys had all great New Year's. Hope you spent it, with friends, family, go to see some fireworks, and hopefully, safely, thoroughly smashed on either fun or drinks in a safe environment. I hope you all had fun, and I hope you're ready to smash into 2022. Hope you got your New Year's resolution, your goals ready to go, and get ready to tackle this on because it is going to be a wild ride. And fingers crossed, 110% that we have zero lockdowns, especially in Victoria, Australia. I really hope that we have none. And anyone who's listening in right now from Victoria will completely understand what I'm talking about. I don't want any more lockdowns. I don't want a repeat of 2020 or 2021. Because it's funny, actually, I saw a note from myself 12 months ago going, yeah, let's tackle 2021. It's going to be a great year, It's going to be like anything like 2020. And, look, a couple of variants happened. Another 5 or 6 lockdowns happened. So you really can't predict it, but I really, really hope no more lockdowns. But I hope you guys all had fun and just had a really great time in your New Year's. And I hope you're ready to start off this year strong with the first episode of Lights, Camera, Rant for 2022. And I've got a full packed episode for you to get you ready for 2022, as well as I got 2 reviews for you guys. And always we start with the news. So, with the pleasantries out of the way, let's get into the news first, which unfortunately, this is not how I wanted to start off the first episode of 2022, but it has been really sad, is that unfortunately Betty White has passed away. It's very, very sad. So she passed away in year 2021. She didn't pass away in year 2022. That's really just another really sad kicker for 2021 for that to happen, and the fact that she was only a couple of days away from her 100th birthday, which she was fully prepared for. So it's really sad, unfortunately, her passing. For Australia wise, I know for myself and a couple of other people, when we woke up in the morning on the 1st of January and opened our Facebooks or our news channels, it was everywhere. It was tweeted everywhere that Betty White had passed, which is just really sad. She was a national treasure. She was lovely, she was funny, and a trailblazer in what she achieved in her tenure. She was 99 years old, so she was so close. It's really sad because she even had an interview a couple of days ago of her saying how to stay healthy and everything, and then sadly here we are. So my condolences go out to her family, her friends, and her pets. And, she had such a legacy, a film legacy for everything she achieved. She was the last Golden Girl member. And, it's just really sad that she has passed. So, look, that's not how I want to start the first episode of 2022. But got to mention it because, she was a true, as I said, a true trailblazer. But, unfortunately, that is life. And look, she made it to 99, which is an excellent age, and that's fantastic. She got to see a lot, she did a lot, she lived a very fulfilling life. So all my wishes out to her friends and family and pets. But let's move on to the latest news that's been happening. Also, I hope you guys had a really good Christmas as well. So, in the past week, so first things first, so Gal Gadot, she's returning for the Flash movie this year, which is fantastic. Apparently on her Instagram, she announced that she's filmed scenes for it, which is really awesome because there was a rumor she was going to be in, but nothing confirmed. So that has been confirmed. She will be returning, confirmed by her Instagram. As well as wasn't expecting this at all because I'm like, how your mind-beddling kind of stuff. But both Michael Shannon, who played Zod and Man of Steel, and Tej Tran, I probably butchered, who played Freya, who was the right-hand woman, for Gerald Zod in The Man of Steel. They are also both confirmed for returning in The Flash as well. Which, Supergirl's obviously in it, but to me, I was like, it's cool that they're in there, but at the same time, I feel like if they're in there, where's Henry Cavill? Come on, DC. Come on, Warner Brothers. What the are you doing? The man is great in the role. You have a growing great actor, and you have Man of Steel, and you're like, yeah, we're not going to touch that. We don't know what to do with it. But let's reboot Batman again, shall we? It just boggles me. But yeah, but they're returning in their roles, confirmed for The Flash. So that's 3 confirmed extra characters confirmed for The Flash, which I'm really excited for, and I can't wait for that to come out. Which is just it's going to be interesting to see what they do. So speaking of The Flash, so what I guys wanted to do for you guys is to get you prepared for 2022 is that we're going to break down, before I get to our reviews, we're going to break down the top listings for 2022 to get you guys ready. So get your calendars, get your dates out. So right off the bat, January 28th, Morbius with Jared Leto. That's coming out. I'm excited for it. However, there's a part of me that I'm excited for it, more so out of curiosity to see where it fits in the main timeline and everything, because as you've heard in my previous episodes, where does this fit? My brain hurts trying to figure out where it fits in the massive timeline. But a clip did get released recently of his first transformation scene, and that looks fantastic. And I really can't wait for this and see where this goes. So that's January 28th. So after that, Feb 18th, we have Uncharted with Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland. The Tom Holland train continues straight on. And look, as I said in my podcast episodes a couple of weeks ago, was I really hope Uncharted does not suffer the video game curse, which looks like Sonic has broken that. So full steam ahead into that. And March 4th, we have Robert Pattinson, the Batman, which a new trailer did get released as well, which, as I've always said, all new trailers all get shared on the Lights Camera Rant Facebook page and Instagram page. So if you're not following them right now, please do go follow them to keep you guys up to date. So a new trailer got released for that. A little bit more on the storyline, but this was more an action trailer. There wasn't much story as number 2. This was more heavily action-focused trailer. So definitely go check it out. It's definitely action-packed, and it's looking like the cinematography looks fantastic in this, and I hope it continues throughout the movie, because it's going to be really interesting to see how that's all going to come together in that particular movie. But keep on going. Sonic 2, April the 8th, that's coming out. That looks really good. Jim Carrey's back. And obviously all 3 characters are also going to be in there. Tails, Knuckles. So, love the first one. The first one was so funny and so good. So, I can't wait for the second one. Hopefully, it's just as good. Moving on, April 15th, we've got The Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore. To me, that's a really long title. I understand The Fantastic Beasts, but The Secrets of Dumbledore, I feel like you could have done something different. That feels a bit lazy. So, obviously, we know with this particular one, Johnny Depp is out, Mads Mikkelsen is in, and we'll see where this goes, obviously, with the storyline. And the trailer, you definitely see more Hogwarts, and obviously a lot more Jude Law as Dumbledore, so that's going to be really good to see. But I am going in, which I have been going in with all these 3 movies so far, is just that slight optimism, okay, I'm just going to enjoy this. I'm not going to have my hopes too high for it because of obvious reasons. Let's keep moving on. So May the 6th, we got Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness. I cannot contain my hype for this movie, guys. I cannot contain it. Please tell me you guys have seen the trailer. Please, this is gonna be mind-boggling, but I shall contain. So that will be Doctor Strange is the first MCU movie of the year, so that's the kind of break we're getting. So obviously no confirm of the Marvel TV shows if we're going to get that beforehand, so we have to wait for that. May 20th, we've got the DC League in the Super Pets with The Rock and... I forgot his name. It was The Rock and his buddy, and I can't remember his name. How silly of me. I just had it on the tip of my tongue. He's in the movie. He's in every single movie nearly with him. He's really funny. All I want to say is Chris Rock, but it's not Chris Rock. But moving on, what we've also got, moving on from there, is May 27th. We've got Tom Cruise in Top Gun 2, Top Gun Maverick. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that's going to go. So that's been a delayed movie. So that's a movie that's been delayed because of COVID. So that wasn't obviously its original date, but it's going to see how that's going to be. You know, is it going to live up to the hype? Is there going to be Kenny Loggins song in it, which has got to be? If we continue on, we've got Jurassic World Domain on June 10th. This I'm excited for because the 3 original actors from the original Jurassic Park movie are going to be in it. So take my money. We've got Pixar's Lightyear, June 17th. Can't wait for that. It just looks really good. And just the, Chris Evans is Buzz Lightyear winning. And the fact that just the trailer just looks very sleek and looks so good. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. Moving on, July 8th, we've got Thor: Love and Thunder with obviously with the fact with Jane Foster's going to become a new Thor. Christian Bale is going to be the bad guy in it. There's a rumor the Guardians are going to be in it. Obviously Valkyrie's going to return. I'm so stoked for that, and I can't wait to see the trailer just to see how that's all going to come to a head on that particular one. And will this be the last Chris Hemsworth as Thor? That's the $1 million question. So moving on, first DC EU movie, Black Adam with The Rock. Guys, I'm so curious to see what it is. I want to see a full trailer of it now. But yeah, July 29th for Black Adam. Mission Impossible 7 in September. No particular date, but September. How does there be 7 Mission Impossibles? Why? I understand they make a lot of money. I understand Tom Cruise, but 7? Really? Let's break that down. That's 7 missions that have been impossible. I'll just let that sink in. Moving on, we got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, October the 7th. It looks really good. Same kind of art style as the first one. So take my money because the first one was great. And then we have The Flash on November the 4th. The Flash movie, which I was just talking about, the returning characters, trailer. Michael Keaton is Batman. That's what I'm most excited for. I can't wait to see his return, which Michael Keaton is also returning in Batgirl. Oh my God, that's so cool. That's so cool that he's back, and I'm so pumped for it. Next, we got Black Panther, Wakanda Forever on November the 11th. We have Avatar 2 on December the 16th, which, Avatar 2... It still boggles me how that is the highest grossing movie of all time, and how the fact it beat Endgame, that just boils my blood. And then also December we have the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special that's being shot at the same time as Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so that's also going to coincide. That's going to be on Disney Plus. And we also have, in December 16th, we have Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom, which is going to be really cool, because, who doesn't like more Jason Momoa? And obviously we have the Marvel TV shows that don't have a release date, but are slated for 2022. We have Secret Invasion, obviously with Samuel L. Jackson returning. We have Miss Marvel as well. We have She-Hulk. We have, as mentioned, Moon Knight. We have the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show, which that has to be one of my most excited show for, the Obi-Wan show. Like, the returning of Hayden Christensen and Darth Vader. They both are going to take a swing at each other like, Ewan McGregor, take my money. And then we have the Star Wars Endor, which is the spin-off from Rogue One. So they're all TVA. There's no particular dates, but they are slated for 2022. So that is all movies that you guys need to get prepared for. I hope you all wrote that down. I hope that all wrote that down. I hope you got that ready. There are some big name hitters coming out, and it's just gonna be awesome. That's what I mean. It's gonna be a big, big year for film. And if we turn the tide, let's go to video games. So January 28th, we have Pokemon Legends. Arceus? Arceus. Arceus. That probably butchered that. I know if Mark's listening to right now, he's probably like twitching and going like, why can't you pronounce it? I'm like, I'm sorry. Mark from Mark My Words. And one highly anticipated movie video game that's been pushed back a couple of times. Hopefully this will be the last time, but Dying Light 2 for Feb the 14th on PC, PlayStation, Xbox. That looks stunning and I can't wait for that. Horizon Forbidden West. That is coming out on Feb the 18th on the PS4 and PS5 for obvious reasons. We have Elder Ring on Feb 25th on both PC, PlayStation, Xbox. We have Gran Turismo 7 on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 on March the 4th, which looks absolutely stunning, and I can't wait to see that push the PlayStation 5 to its full capacity and what this is going to look like. It's going to be something else. Starfield on both PC, Xbox, and cloud. For this one, November the 11th. This is going to be looks to be very interesting what this is going to come out as and how this is all going to come about. And then we have, obviously with this particular, we don't have a release particular date, but we do have the fact that it is coming next year, which is God of War Ragnarok, because the first one is absolutely stunning, and if you haven't played it already, you need to play God of War because it was just mind-blowing. Then we have next, we also got, which I'm really excited for, is the Suicide Squad game, which is the sequel to Arkham Knight, and the fact it's made by Rockstar. So that's coming out next year, but no release date as a particular date, but it is coming out next year, obvious reasons. We get The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild next year. No particular title. Obviously didn't just Breath of the Wild sequel, but obviously it's going to be Nintendo Switch. But those are the big name titles. So I hope you guys have got that penciled in because, as I said, full steam ahead of going into year 2022. We have a lot to cover this year, so definitely tune in every Tuesday for Lights Camera Rant and strap yourself in because across all three mediums, movies, TV shows, video games, it's going to be big. As well as, I haven't for this episode yet, but I will have a review of Guardians of the Galaxy video game. That is coming at a later date because I've just finished that video game and holy shit, there's a lot to cover in that. So that's actually coming at a later date, so keep that in mind as well, and don't forget to tune in. However, so before I move into the reviews, one little thing I would like to say is the HBO Max special of the Harry Potter reunion also premiered this past week. Look, it's really good. There's a lot of the characters do return, obviously the three main ones, but it's really heartwarming. Get some good behind the scenes footage that you haven't seen before, some little tidbits you didn't know before, but there was a few characters that hasn't returned, but it is very heartwarming. You know, it takes you down memory lane, obviously for these movies. Look, to me, I probably wouldn't have done the HBO special, return to Hogwarts, just reunion from the first movie, I probably would have done 20 years down the track from the 7th movie, because technically, yes, it's been 20 years since the original movie, but it's actually only 11 years since the last one, which was part 2 of the Deathly Hallows. So it's, to me, I probably would have pushed it back another 10 years, make that gap a little bit wider. 30 years from the first movie, but 20 years from the original one. Look, there's no J.K. Rowling because of obvious reasons. You'll know why. She is in it, but 2019 footage from something else. But there was a few characters that obviously actors that haven't returned, which I think could be because of COVID, as well as it does do a lovely tribute to everyone who has passed away. Look, to me and my partner, when we saw the names listed of who's passed away, I was like, oh my God, there's actually a lot more. There was a lot more that's passed away than I originally thought. But it's really good, and it's really nice to delve back into that world and see what these actors have been up to, and just see, just to see what they've been up to, little things they remember the most, their favorite parts they dislike. I never knew that Emma Watson was almost going to not come back, but she did, obviously. So that's a little tidbit I didn't know about. But look, it's a wonderful special. They do a lot. To me, as I said, they could have probably pushed it back. However, here it is now. So HBO Max for international. If you're in Australia, binge. It's all on binge. Same with watching the Snyder Cut. That's also on binge. So, with all the news out of the way, let's get down to the reviews. So, I was able to see the Ghostbusters Afterlife with my mother. Took my mother out to go watch it. And look, it is a wonderful movie. I found myself laughing, sad, very heartwarming. It is a solid third entry in the Ghostbusters franchise. Now, this movie only had a budget of $75 million. Currently at the box office, it's made $178 million, so definitely profit. Now, this was originally meant to come out in 2020. It got delayed a year because of COVID, and it came out earlier this year. Oh, sorry, not earlier this year. Earlier last year, but for everyone in Australia, especially Victoria, it got pushed back because of obvious reasons. So we actually only got to see it on the 1st of January. That's where it got released here in Victoria. So it's been a long time coming. And I agree with the critics. This is awesome. It beat all my expectations. The Ghostbusters Afterlife. The cast are really well. The younger cast do very well, and obviously they're all the acting. The visual effects is outstanding. I didn't see one bit of visual effects. I was like, ooh, that didn't look right, or they might have cheaped out. All the visual effects look great. Similar to the original 2 Ghostbusters films. Because I can actually, I've rewatched the first Ghostbusters not too long ago, and there's not a lot of moments I even watched in that where I thought, ooh, that CGI hasn't really held up. But no, the CGI in this one all holds up and does fantastic. And also the returning cast. Also, spoilers, obviously the original Ghostbusters do return. And as well as we do get some side characters that also return as well. I won't spoil all of them for you, but majority of them do come back. And so this was directed by Ivan Reitman, so Jason Reitman's son. So Jason Reitman, who was the original person who directed the first 2 movies, and he took this on. Now, this Ghostbusters 3 has been in, I think, development hell, if you will, is set for I think 20 years. 20 years or something. It's been development hell. There's been scripts written, scripts changed, things have changed, and they thought to be originally was at a completely dead end, which is why we got the female Ghostbusters movie, which did not receive too overly well for obvious reasons. But there was a lot of back and forth with Ghostbusters 3, which never got to see the light of day. So for the a prime example, if Ghostbusters 3 was going to get made in, 5 or 6 years in original order of Ghostbusters 1, 2, and 3, Dan Aykroyd has said the fact that would have been the Ghostbusters video game. That's the closest thing we've got to Ghostbusters 3 of everyone who returned for that. And obviously we've got the main cast. So the Ghostbusters video game is the original Ghostbusters 3 that we would have seen if it came to light today. Unfortunately, the game's great, so definitely go play it. It definitely makes you feel like a Ghostbuster. It is a lot of fun, especially the remaster version. They tweak it here and there, but it's a lot of fun and really takes you back. And all the characters are funny. It's a lot of fun. So definitely go play the Ghostbusters video game. But this one, as I said, development hell. But Ivan Reitman's written the script with the help of Dan Aykroyd, and they've made this wonderful movie, which is a fantastic entry. And it really sums up 1, 2, and 3 in a wonderful trilogy. And the story is obviously, with Harold Ramis's character passed away, and his daughter and her kids inherit this farming land that he was working on in the middle of butt-F nowhere. And then obviously from there, things start to get a little bit spooky. Ghosts starting to appear. And as you have no doubt what the rest can happen. But it is, the visual effects, the story, it all does great. And it's lovely seeing... I thought this was a really good balance between... this is the new generation's movie to obviously paying homage to the original 1 and 2. So to me, it was similar to like No Way Home, as it does a good balance between this is their movie and nostalgia's on the back burner with everything going on, and it does a wonderful balance of that. And not once do I feel like, they're shooting on too much nostalgia, or they're doing too much of that. It feels like you're taking away from the original characters. No, the return characters of the original Ghostbusters that do come in, they honestly only come in towards the last 15, 20 minutes of the movie. I'll say last 20 minutes of the movie. So it's a lot of this new generation's movie, and it's honestly, I was surprised and I loved every minute of it. As well as right at the end, there is an extra cameo that that does happen in the end, which I was very, very surprised for obvious reasons. But they handled that fantastically, of this returning character, which you honestly are not expecting. But they do it wonderful. Everything that happens does great, and it really makes you feel for these characters. And it does a lovely tribute to Howard Ramis, the original actor, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago. So this is a lovely tribute. There was so much heart in this film, and you can tell that this was a love letter to the fans and the next generation, and the original Ghostbusters 1 and 2. So a lot of this movie is the fact that some people remember what happened originally in the first Ghostbusters. Not much gets mentioned about the second Ghostbusters. It's all about the first Ghostbusters movie, how the fact everything that happened. But some do remember. Obviously, the kids don't, because it was nearly 30 years ago. But everyone who's older does remember. And there has been a ghost sighting in years. Yet on this little town, with no fault line, no volcano line, no tectonic plates, starts having earthquakes, which you do find out why. And honestly, they did fantastic. I love it, and I'm really glad I got to see this in the movies. And I highly recommend, if you're a Ghostbusters fan, you will not, 110%, you will not be disappointed in this movie. It is a blast. And the fact that, it is, even the other critics, myself, was saying the fact it did really well. And I'm really glad it's getting that rapport, because it's well earned. The original Ghostbusters, the cast and the director, they did it very well, and there's a lot of heart into this, and it really shows through. Little bit tidbit that I did find out, that they're releasing the Ultimate Ghostbusters Collector's Edition, as Sony is, but they're only doing Ghostbusters 1, 2, and Afterlife, not not the reboot, the female Ghostbusters movie, which Ivan Reitman has said the fact that that this one completely does ignore those events. No hard feelings, he said. The fact he just wants to do, where he just wanted to make sure it was original sequel to the 1 and 2. And apparently Paul Feig, who directed the female Ghostbusters in 2016, said he completely understood and respected. Which, he did tweet the fact that Paul Feig did retweet, because when Sony announced it, obviously on Twitter, he replied saying, clearly this must be an oversight. Why aren't we included? Blah, blah, blah. And look, it's just, to me, I completely understand what Sony's doing. This is the Ultimate Collector's Edition of the original. So this is like a trilogy. Like obviously 1, 2, and 3. You're not gonna sell it as a quadrilogy pack because the 2016 Ghostbusters movie doesn't count. The events don't count in it at all. So it's obviously it's a reboot film. It's not a continuation. So I completely understand why it's not in there, and it feels like Paul Feig, who has been tweeting, going the haters back, is the fact there's still a lot of hate about that movie. And look, I get it. I get it. I've seen bits and parts of it, and I just didn't like it. And just thought this was such an unnecessary movie. You didn't. This is not what we were claiming for. This is not what we wanted. As the fans who are waiting years and years, December 3, and you get thrown, hey, here's a reboot full of women, and it's a reboot. Isn't that what you want? No. No one asked for this. Not one person said yes. Whoever told you that this was a good idea is a bunch of yes men. No. Everyone who said yes, and this is what we're claiming for, is Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's what we wanted as fans. That's what the audience wanted. It's that's why I don't understand why you do that to your diehard fan base. Like, I understand you've got an intellectual property that, why aren't you utilizing it more? However, look at this. Look what came Ghostbusters Afterlife. Like, why? There's other ways you could have done it instead of doing a reboot. Like, make a new video game. Go down that route. Do a AAA title in Ghostbusters as you have to reboot, but like an origin story. People wouldn't have complained about that. If you would do that as this is Ghostbusters 30 years on, you're the new trainee, and the other Ghostbusters pop in there, but it's a brand new team, different environment, new city, you could have done all of that, There's so many other options you could have gone on in creating that 2016 Ghostbusters movie, which, I completely understand why it's not in the Ultimate Collector's Edition, because this new Ghostbusters movie does fantastic, and you're going to want to buy this Ultimate Collector's Edition. Ghostbusters Afterlife does a great job. It is a great threequel to the original trilogy. It does justice, and I want to see more. Honestly, I want to see more with a new cast. I feel like, yes, the original Ghostbusters can pop here and there, but I want the new cast. I want to see them, because obviously there is definitely, if you're going to go see it, definitely say after the credits. There is an after credits scene that is going to want you that feel your little nostalgia of you want that a little bit more. It's right there. So Sony hasn't announced they're making a new Ghostbusters movie, but look, if they left it, I can be completely satisfied. But if they do make a new one, please do a new one to Ghostbusters Afterlife. Don't do a new one to the 2016 female Ghostbusters. Please don't. Honestly, oh God. But highly recommendation. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Go see it. And Paul Feig, look, you made that movie. Understand you got the hate. There's a lot of directors that have a movie that everybody hates. Stop whining and complaining about it. But moving on, what we also got in this past week is the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett. Yep, that got first episode every Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, every Wednesday. 7 episodes, the Book of Boba Fett. And look, when I started watching this, I have to get this off my chest first. This is just like Mandalorian. It is visually stunning. It is clear cut. There is not one moment in that entire 50-minute episode where I thought that the CGI is a bit funny. It is stunning. Like, just the visual standing point, if you know, just the visual standpoint, take away the characters, take away storyline, just the landscape shots, it is visually stunning, and you can see how much heart and love is going into this. The detail, this is what this is what we wanted after Return of the Jedi. Yet we got the sequel trilogy, which love it or hate it, but some of the majority hate it. The Force Awakens was good, Last Jedi was trash, and Rise of Skywalker was better, but that's a good example. See, Ghostbusters Afterlife, good balance between new generation, nostalgia. Good balance. Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, more nostalgia, not focused on new generation, which, fan pandering, and it suffers, and you can see it, and that's where you go wrong. I still love that meme of, that parent hitting that kid, that was like, that's how you, that meme I saw, adult hitting his child, and the child's Star Wars, and the adult Spider-Man No Way Home. It's like, that's how you finish a trilogy, and you're damn effing right. That's Spider-Man No Way Home. That is how you finish a trilogy. But this is, I was just saying, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, this is what we wanted. I don't understand. This is what mind boggles me. Is like, what happens in the... I'm not blaming Disney. I'm blaming, Kathleen Kennedy of Star Wars. Like, what makes you think this is a good flipping idea? Yet, you get 6 directors in a room who have Star Wars running through their blood, and they give you The Mandalorian. They give you the Book of Boba Fett, and you can, fans resonate with it. People resonate with it because it shows how much heart goes into this, and, they know what the fans are clamoring. They know what they want to see, and this is why it's doing so well. And I really hope that this kind of passion continues straight on to Obi-Wan Kenobi. I do. So the show, obviously, we do see, which they finally do answer the question with the Book of Boba Fett, is that we do see Boba in the Bacta tank, trying to heal all his wounds, and he starts having a flashback on how he survived the Sarlacc pit, because that's the $1 million question, how he did it. And look, it's kind of gross. Kind of gross how he got out. And he has it pretty rough. You see how he lost his armor, and you see how he's suffering through the desert, and you see the fact that he, with the Sand People, they capture him, and you see that a little bit back and forth, and Tamzin Morrison does a fantastic job as Boba Fett, and you can see the fact he is having so much fun, but still leaves that, every time he's on scene, you still feel that intensity, that mystery, that this guy could just whip out and kill you in a second, and you do not trifle with him. And he does it fantastically. I'm looking forward to what the series will bring, but this episode was really good. It answered a lot of questions. It is a flashback between after the Return of the Jedi, as well as the events of Season 2 of The Mandalorian. So that's both working coincide, because he does have to go to the Bacta tank, because he's saying, in fact, he's having nightmares of how he survived everything. The new armor looks sleek, and we do see the fact that going diving into this world of him replacing Jabba the Hutt at power. Oh, sorry, not Jabba the Hutt. I forgot the middleman in between, filling in that power, that void, and trying to take over, but not rule in fear, but to rule in respect, which he does make that very apparent. Now, look, this episode does very well answering those questions, diving back into this world, the colourful characters. That's one of the most things I love about Star Wars, It's the characters, the seedy underbelly, just this galaxy far, far away. This is this engages your entire imagination. And there's also a fight scene with a couple of guards I have, which is done really well. But you do kind of get that feel that Boba Fett is still not... Like, he needs more time in the Bacta tank to get through his full strength. That he's not at his peak performance. I know he's old, but still, he's freaking Boba Fett. Now, I will say, the acting was good. CGI is stunning. Love the fact that they're, exploring all these characters. But I must admit, I gotta say that after 50 minutes, it was a bit of, I'd say it was a letdown, but it was a bit like, compared to the Marvel TV shows we've been watching back and forth, is the fact that this didn't leave me wanting more. This didn't go, ooh, I can't wait for episode 2, like I'm really excited. It was more like, okay, now what? Okay, like, I know where the story's headed, but like, it didn't leave you with a, ooh, what's gonna happen next episode moment, or like, oh my god, I just discovered this, or like, this is gonna, like, no, it doesn't leave you. Obviously, it does leave you with the fact there's more story to tell. How he got away from the Sand People, and how he got into the business we do see in the Mandalorian. Like, that's still up in the air. But yeah, I just felt after this, I just didn't feel like that's what's going to happen next, or like a big reveal, a big spoiler. Probably the biggest thing that happened was the fact that we know how he survived the Sarlacc pit out of the entire episode, I must admit. But yeah, look, after that, I didn't feel that like, oh, I need what happens next. Yet with The Mandalorian, I did nearly every single episode. I thought, oh, I can't wait for the next episode. Bloody hell, it's a week away. But the Book of Boba Fett, it just felt like it just ended on a little bit of a, you're all good. You want more Boba? It's coming. Hang tight. Stay safe. It just didn't blow me away. That's probably the most thing. Probably the visual aspect, yep. Acting, yep. But story, interesting, curiosity-wise. But that's about it. It didn't leave me... Like, for example, like, obviously I'm going to watch episode 2, I'm going to watch episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, for example, both Marvel TV shows, I'm like straight on watching it. Straight on watching those shows when they get released. Yet, if I missed Boba Fett, like, for a couple of days, I don't think it would faze me. Like, it didn't pull me in going, you want to see what happens next. Like, you want to see more. Like, that didn't pull me in that much, and I was really disappointed in that part. I must admit, I was like, oh, that was it? That was nothing else? But, mate, that's probably the main thing I have to tell you guys. If you do go watch this, don't expect to be blown away in the aspect of what's going to happen next. In the next episode of the Book of Boba Fett, like, don't expect that. Just take the episode as it is and nothing further. That's what I have to say about it. But look, 1 down, 6 more to go. So bring it on. And yeah, guys, I really hope the next episode amps it up. Obviously, you can't expect it to happen to every single episode. Look at WandaVision. WandaVision 1, episode 2 were a bit tame, and 3 kicked into gear. However, for a good example of WandaVision is the fact that you watch the first episode and you're like, I gotta know what's happened next. Like, why is everything like this? Like, what's, I can't wait for next. Like, I see what happens. Didn't feel any of that for Book of Boba Fett this episode at all, I must admit. So that's actually a really good example. So be there. Look, guys, tell me your thoughts. What do you guys think of the Book of Boba Fett? Are you excited to see more episodes, or you feel like a bit like, I'll just wait, or I'll just wait until it all comes out to binge it. It hasn't piqued my curiosity to be, I just want to see Mandalorian Season 3. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think about it. But yeah, that's my review for the Book of Boba Fett Episode 1. Obviously, 6 more to go. Also, guys, let me know what you thought of Ghostbusters Afterlife. What would you guys, is it a good solid entry? Did you like the girl version more in 2016? Do you wish to see a sequel to that? And also, let me know, what are you most excited for 2022, both movie, film, and television? In the comments, just let me know, and I want to talk to you guys. Like, this is going to be a big year. Like, what are you excited for? What you can miss, you don't really care about. Like, I don't believe in the hype. But yeah, guys, look, thank you very much for listening to today's episode. I know that was a lot of breakdown, but also a lot of fun as always. And until next time,
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.